So, Trump versus Elon, is this a fabricated fight or is this a real fight? Now, when this broke out like 2 days ago, someone was like, this is all political theater. They still really like each other. This is just something where they're going to fight and then he's going to bring Elon back into the fold and everyone's going to kiss, make up, and be happy, right? I kind of thought that too. I was like, seems kind of weird. I mean, yeah, they both have really big egos, but in a way, they kind of need each other because Elon does control Twitter, and that is very good at controlling, somewhat the narrative around things. And Trump needs it to kind of like broadcast his so-called accomplishments and sell them to people. And of course, Elon needs Trump to basically, as the president, sign the administration into contracts with his companies. So, I thought like this didn't really make much sense, wasn't really in the interest of either party, but there was one thing yesterday that caught my attention that says like, yeah, I don't think this is a fight anymore. I don't think this is fake anymore. I think it's actually real. And that was Elon was like, yeah, by the way, Trump's on the Epstein list. Now, saying that his bill is stupid, that's perfectly fine. You can still pretend fight on that. Even saying some of his policies are stupid, Trump doesn't like that, but that's still within bounds of a fake fight. Accusing of being a pedophile in a giant sex ring, the current president, I think that's a little bit out of bounds. That's like you and your friend having like a fake fight to make your, other buddies think that you're actually fighting. And then like you go over and say to his girlfriend, oh, by the way, he slept with your sister. And it's like, whoa, that shouldn't have gone there. Once you say that, then it's not a fake fight anymore. It's a real fight. And saying that Trump's on the Epstein list, whether that's real or not, that makes it a real fight. Because that's just like two things in between guys that like you don't bring out unless you really hate someone and you really want to take them down. And that at that point, it's not a fake fight anymore. Like I said, it's like, you can fake fight until you tell his girlfriend, hey, he slept with your sister, then it's no longer a fake fight. It is a real fight. So I actually do think this is real. Trump has actually said Elon has gone insane. Whether Trump's on the Epstein list or not, I'm not actually sure. I don't know if Elon really has in-depth knowledge of who's on that list, unless I guess he's on the list himself. I'm not really sure. I can't really confirm or deny that. But the thing is, like, that is just like a shot that's fired too far. And we'll never really know if Trump's on the Epstein list, because if he is, he's already said like he's not going to reveal the Epstein list or like a really highly redacted version or something. We'll never know the full thing. And this is one thing the Democrats are not going to push him to actually reveal, because obviously some of their guys are going to be on the Epstein list too. Like, I think a lot of the Republican and the Democratic guys, perhaps Donald Trump himself, he was a friend of Epstein at once. I think that friendship broke apart later, but who knows who's actually on that list. And if they're both on the list, we're not seeing it. And I don't think we're going to see it anyways. I think that's always going to remain somewhat hidden as kind of one of these like urban legend type of things. So don't think we're actually going to see that at all. And if we do see it, it'll be another redacted version of the list, which will mean absolutely nothing. So yeah, I do actually believe it's a real fight. Now, what caused the fight? Is it really just because there's a $5 trillion deficit on Trump's bill? I think that's only a small part of it. There's certain details that between the two that some of you guys may not know. One, that bill, aside being just like $5 trillion more in debt, it did actually cut an EV credit, a tax credit that Tesla heavily relies on. I mean, electric cars are already more expensive than regular cars, just regularly. Helping to offset some of that, especially in some states, is an EV credit. You take away that EV credit, that's adding several $1,000s more onto your car than doesn't exist right now. And obviously, that's going to make Elon Musk's electric cars less competitive against gas or hybrid cars. So he's very mad at that because, let's face it, like, he did actually go to bat for Trump. And because he did that, Tesla is suffering massively from a backlash from its primary customers. Remember, the primary customers of Tesla are going to be the proponents of climate change and those that believe in climate change and stuff like that. MAGA does not believe in climate change. Donald Trump does not believe in climate change. So siding with those people against the people that do believe in climate change, obviously that's going to piss off your primary customer. And as we've seen, Tesla's sales have actually fallen through the roof, fallen through the floor year after year, especially this year after he joined Trump in politics. So obviously, like, taking away that EV credit, that's like being double crossed by Trump. Tesla's already losing money because he went to bat for Trump, and now Trump's taking another credit away from him that would actually help his company. Now, to be fair, when he was cutting stuff with Doge, and making all these government renovations, he did gain a couple of contracts with some of his other companies with the federal government. So he was actually kind of being made up for it that way. Not nearly enough, because Tesla is actually a bigger company than all those other smaller companies, but he was actually getting a couple of contracts. Two, there was a contract that he really wanted that he didn't get from the Trump administration that had to do with the FAA. I think just last week or the week before, the Trump administration turned down Elon's suggestion that the entire FAA switch over to Starlink. And obviously, he wasn't very happy about that, because that would have been billions upon billions of dollars for one of his companies that would have ultimately funneled to him. Remember, Elon does actually care about money, even though he has like $200 billion. He wants to be the world's first trillionaire, and he can't do that bleeding Tesla money and also not getting these FAA contracts. The third reason is because his pick for head of NASA, which actually has a big influence on SpaceX, and the contracts that he might get with the government there got rejected, or basically was thrown out. So he's not happy about that. So that's like 3 strikes in a very small amount of time. The elimination of the EV tax credit, 1, his failure to get the FAA contract with the Trump administration, 2, and also his pick for the head of NASA basically being booted out, number 3. So he's saying, he's thinking hey, I went to bat for Trump. I spent over $250 million in his campaign. I basically turned Twitter into his propaganda machine during election season, and I'm not getting what I deserve. So he threw up a ruckus. Obviously, when you have 2 toddlers fight, it becomes a huge clown show. But that's fine, because I'm enjoying the clown show. I mean, the administration couldn't really get any worse than it is now in terms of advisors and stuff. So it's just basically reality TV, except on a national political scale. And I'm perfectly fine with that, because I think with Trump's random behavior day after day with tariffs today, maybe not tariffs tomorrow, and then tariffs the next day, and with his random diplomacy, I'm kind of used to that. This is just taking it to another level. And Trump is actually threatened, maybe it's time I take away some government contracts from Elon Musk. Elon says he's going to cancel the Dragon space shuttle or whatever. I'm not really sure how that helps him. Maybe Trump wants to go to Mars or something. I don't know. But the thing is, I don't think Elon's going to win this fight, because he didn't really calculate this out well. Because see, after this dude is president, and this dude basically double-crossed everyone he's worked with, so I'm not really sure why you thought he wouldn't double-cross you. The thing is, after he becomes president, he just becomes more powerful than you. It doesn't matter how much money you have. Elon might be one of those guys that thinks I have hundreds of billions of dollars, I can buy anyone. But the problem is, since you actually made him president, he just simply has more power than you. He has more levers than you. He has more people than you, because he's the president of the most powerful nation on earth. He can cancel the government contracts with Tesla. He can start investigating your companies. And he has ways to pull strings to make your allies not really be your allies anymore. So I think Elon has dug himself a huge hole, and I don't think he's going to win. Now, is this going to hurt Trump? Yes, it is probably going to hurt Trump, especially if Elon turns Twitter against Trump, like he turned Twitter pro-Trump in the last election. So I think this fracture actually hurts both parties, and they might get back together. But the whole Epstein thing makes that a lot harder, because see, if you were friends with your other buddy and he told your girlfriend that you slept with her sister, then there's basically no way you're going to go back to being friends again. And the Epstein thing might be kind of the same thing with Elon and Trump. I'm not sure. Maybe they will come back again. And Elon will just be I was totally kidding. But I'm not really sure if people would actually buy that at this point, because that is a wild, wild accusation to accuse the president of the United States, whom you've been campaigning hard and working hard for all this time. So Really, really weird that he would just lash out like that. I think like it's just complete lack of self-control by Elon and not really seeing like the big picture of basically not getting everything he wants like all at once. Maybe he should have bided his time to get more stuff that he wants, like over the course of a couple of years. But I think he's basically burnt the bridge now, and I do think this spat is real because of that. So that's the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe, hit that bell notifications button, and I will see you guys later. Go Pacers.